We are charting a new course, one that will solidify America's position as the world's financial leader.
All right, you guys, crypto is about to be going wild. Real adoption, clearer rules, and smarter rails. But the last few days have been a little rough on us. I understand that. There's liquidations, there's whipsaw candles, and then there's plenty of pain in the market. But right now, Bitcoin is hovering at 119,000, and we've got XRP hovering at around $2.98. Now, these are two key levels that I'm watching closely as the sentiment continues to reset. Now, you're going to want to stick around because there's a Solana native built quietly that's going to be threading compliance into real payments. And the way that they plan to do this might change how you think about these on-chain settlements. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's talk about some history here. The SEC is moving from against to engage and approve. So what I mean by that, everyone, is from spot BTC ETFs to fresh guidance and no action relief. So what that means is that the rails of the US finance are finally bending towards crypto, but carefully. Right now, risk appetite is creeping back across majors, but volatility cuts both ways. You need to manage risk and stay nimble as we dig deeper into Q4.
The future is bright, the future is incredible, and I think fourth quarter of this year is going to be unbelievable for a host of reasons. So fourth quarter has always historically been, the best quarter, or, generally the best quarter for cryptocurrencies.
Now let's talk about this project. What is ISOR and why does it matter to us? Now let me give you a simple one-liner. ISOR is going to be helping money move on crypto rails, just like the way the banks describe payments. It's clean, it's structured, and it's compliance ready. Now let's talk about some of the non-negotiables aligned with ISOR. So it's aligned with ISO 20022, and this is basically the new mandatory global banking standard. Here's actually the link that will show you guys what I'm talking about. I read through it and I got a lot of details for you here because I want to make it as easy as possible for you to understand why I have faith in this and why there's a huge probability this could totally change the game. ISR also powers compliant blockchain payments with real world adoption. And then they're also backed by the ISO router infrastructure, which is actually already live. Now let's understand, why does that matter to us crypto heads? Well, because if banks are switching to ISO 20022 messages on November 22nd, 2025, after that, payment instructions will basically carry richer details like the purpose code and then the end-to-end ID. This will make reconciliation and compliance much easier for governments and banks. Now, tools that understand those details are going to be able to connect crypto with real-world finance a lot more smoothly. Now, let's talk about how does the ISOR actually work in plain English. Think of a travel app for payments. You tell it the amount, the currency, and the purpose, and then it's going to find you the best route. It also reads the amount, the currency, the purpose code, end-to-end ID. Then it basically picks the most optimal path across the Solana liquidity, stable coins, and compliant off-ramps. So funds are going to land where they should with the right audit trail. Now let's check out what their site looks like and what their token actually does. They're counting down the day to the launch, which is roughly 50 days, 8 hours from now. And the whole idea is to turn this ISO 20022 intent into the fastest, cheapest settlement path automatically. Right? And I love that. I love that they're planning on it. They've got the most perfect white paper breaking it down. I will leave the link below for this to make it as easy as possible for you, but I want to break down what I'm understanding from it, right? So right now, routing token for ISO 20022 adoption is that its native payments flow as institutional money moves from legacy MT to MK messaging. Right? Then we've also got things like bridges, TradeFi, and then blockchain settlements. What's going to basically happen is it's going to understand the ISO 20022 fields, like purpose codes and the E2E IDs. I know it's a little bit more difficult, but that's okay, you guys. Let's just get the gist of it. And they're going to be able to map grade instructions to fast, low slippage, on-chain routes. Now, there's also governance and fees. Now, there's stake for routing economics and participants in governance, right? And that's important in the crypto world. And there's also an access to fee reduction plus enterprise integration tiers across their entire network. Now, what have I learned about their brand mission, right? So what ISO are aims to lead is as the #1 compliance-ready crypto token aligned with this ISO 20022, which is heading to be in November 22nd, 2025. Right? Now, that's going to deliver trust, compliance, and utility for financial institutions and Web3 innovators. Now, let's talk about why this could scale, right? The ISO router infrastructure is live right now, and it's already built for secure payment metadata, right? Smarter routing, tighter slippage, and compliant off-ramp selection. Also, it's got a growing surface area, so third-party coverage is going to be big, and it's going to have listing trackings that can begin highlighting the projects as integrations expand. Now, the audit process in motion is so critical, right? So it's going to support transparency, which is important in crypto, and institutional readiness, which has not happened yet, which is why we don't see mass adoption. And then lastly, they have a huge active community on X and Telegram. And you guys, again, can check out the links below. I'll put it all there for you. Now, from intent to settlement, it takes roughly 3 steps. So the payment intent arrives with the ISO fields. So the amount, the currency, the purpose ID, and the E2E ID. Then the ISO router is going to parse and score that route across the Solana liquidity, stablecoins, roles, and compliant off-ramp mapped to the correct purpose code, which is the key here. And then lastly, we have the ISOR, which is going to align incentives. So the routers get paid, the stakers get fee reduction, and then the governance prioritizes banks, PSPs that are going to be able to meet the compliance bars. Now, this is the best part. Why does this timing matter? Okay, because this is just happening and it launches in November 22, 2025. The ISO 2002 clock is ticking. And after all of that, all across border FI-to-FI payment instructions have to use this ISO 20022 rule. And the standards aware rails that can read routes and reconcile the structure data, and they're positioned for real world adoption. That's why this thing has such a good probability and opportunity. And as we think about that, we always want to talk about the entire market as well. We do want to look at what's kind of happening, right? Because basically BTC and major firms, as institutions keep leaning into spot BTC and spot Ethereum ETFs. Now, this is part of the broader policy shift from a no to a regulated yes. Volatility is going to happen. Green tape does not mean straight lines. I really want to put that out there. So you really want to size your positions and make sure you're disciplined with your trades. Now, do me one more favor. Just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you just never miss an update. But now let's think about this. What are some questions we've thought about? What is this ISO 20022 or the Solana routing? Okay, now who is ISOR for? It's banks, PSPs, and fintechs, right? We've also got crypto treasuries and lastly, enterprises. So you guys, basically, this allows for the entire world to be able to be connected following the legal new rule that's coming out. It's kind of the simplest way to break it down. Now, what you can do for your next steps is read the overview and the examples. I've got the link below. It makes it very, very easy. Now, watch official channels just to make sure audit it and you kind of understand it as well. And lastly, follow their socials for partner rollouts or any of their integration news. Now, remember, compliance is a feature, not an afterthought. And ISO 20022 alignment is quickly becoming mandatory. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, especially if this gave you a lot of value and you kind of have a better understanding of ISO and why I believe this has a huge probability to scale within the crypto world. All right, and don't forget, let me know in the comments below if there's other projects you're interested in as well. I'd love to do the deep dive into this. I mean, this research was so much fun. It was beautiful to fully understand what they're building and why. And I think as the crypto market adapts, we're going to need to do that with more of these projects so we understand exactly what the probability is, right? Now, until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay ahead, you guys. Peace out, everyone.